Hello friends, it is Stacia and welcome back to my channel. So today is a fun video, but it was very hard for me to narrow. So today I'm going to be talking about 10 romance authors that I discovered in 2022. So I definitely credit 2022 to romance. I read the most romance. I was loving romance. I really found authors I loved, tropes I loved that I didn't think I did, and it was just a fun time discovering my romance taste through these authors. Some of these authors I own nothing from. I've just read from my Kindle. Some are popular, some are more indie, so we have sort of a range here, and these are in like no particular order or anything. I'm just sharing them with you. So we're going to talk about these 10 authors, the books I've read from them, the tropes I've read, and things like that. The first author I want to talk to you guys about is Laura Pavlov. I've mentioned her so many times on this channel. If that name doesn't sound familiar, then this series will. It is the Honey Mountain series. I absolutely love this series. So this is the only series that I've read by Laura Pavlov. It is a small town romance with 5 books that follows a new sister. They all have different tropes from each other, and it's honestly just such a fun time. I love how Laura Pavlov creates these relationships not only with the main couple but also the relationships between the sisters and the overall families and all of those dynamics. I just love how she does it, and it just makes me feel so warm inside, and I just love her books. Every single Honey Mountain book I've read them all. I loved them all. And these are definitely books that I would love to own one day because of how much I love these stories and these characters. Definitely looking forward to reading more of her other series because I think she has 2 or 3 maybe other series out there. Personally, I've only read the Honey Mountain series, but I love the way that she creates these relationships and these connections between these characters, and you just can't help but love literally all of them. So that's the first one. The next author I want to talk about is actually a popular author, but this year in 2022 was the first time that I've read any books from her, and that is none only than Miss Tessa Bailey. So I read It Happened One Summer and was absolutely hooked. So I immediately read Hook, Line, and Sinker, and I loved them both. I know that people have differing opinions on which is their favorite. I think I love Grump Sunshine a little bit more than I love Friends to Lovers. So It Happened One Summer was definitely my favorite, but like I said, I gave them both 5 stars. I love Tessa Bailey. I love the way that she creates her characters. The growth of her characters is also a really big thing, and I love the way that she writes spice in kind of not an overwhelming way. So if you are new to spice, I would recommend Tessa Bailey. She does have spicy scenes, but I don't think that they're overwhelming at all. And I definitely can't wait to read more from her. The only other book that I have from her that I haven't read yet is My Killer Vacation, but this one specifically I've heard very mixed things about, so we'll need to see. All in all, love Tessa Bailey. The second I discovered her, I knew I needed to read more from her, so I can't wait to see more of what she comes out with. But yeah, so Tessa Bailey, popular one, but I understand why she's popular. So the next author I want to talk about is Nikki Castle. I've mentioned her a few times. She is the author of the Fight Game series. This is a spicy sports romance where the main characters are MMA fighters. Nikki Castle does spice well. If you are looking for the spice and the angst and all of those kind of scenes, Nikki Castle is for you. The way that she incorporates the spice is literally just so good. I love her books, and her books are spicy. So if you're looking for that, definitely go find some Nikki Castle. I don't own any of her books, unfortunately, but I am planning to one day. I feel like she's also very good at like storytelling within characters, like side characters and how they all intertwine with each other. I love her males though. Like her male main characters are amazing. I love them all. They all have different personalities, but you truly love them all. Like it's hard to say which is your favorite. And the girls are always so strong and independent, which is something I love about Nikki Castle's heroines, is that they are independent, they know what they want, and they're going to grow and they're going to find themselves, and it's just honestly the best thing ever. It's great. I love it. Another sports romance author I've discovered is Stacy Lynn, but I've actually discovered her for her hockey series. I've never been to a hockey game, I've never watched a hockey game, but hockey romance has somehow taken my heart. I love a good hockey romance, and I think Stacy Lynn does it very well. She has very different tropes and all of the characters are different. I also love how her series kind of interconnect with each other's books, so you always see characters that you've learned about their story before, which is always very nice. I just love the way Stacy Lynn makes, like, she builds up to her characters. I just think it's such a fun time. Stacy Lynn is definitely a go-to. Like I said, I read her hockey series, but I'm not sure if that's all she writes. I think she probably writes other things. But yes, super, super love her. Another popular author that I discovered this year was Allie Hazelwood. She took Bookstagram like a storm. Everyone just loved her. So I read this, I believe, earlier in 2022 and absolutely loved it. That I immediately got Love on the Brain. I have not read Love on the Brain yet, but I love Allie Hazelwood. But yeah, so she focuses on STEM heroines, which I think is great. So obviously her heroines are very educated, they know what they want and things like that, and so I thought that it was super fun. She's not really spicy, at least the Love Hypothesis wasn't, so that's also something. If you're just looking for an open door book with like 1 or 2 scenes, maybe the Love Hypothesis would be for you. Not too sure how this goes. And she also has her STEM novellas, which I'm planning on reading. I bought them all, so I just need to actually read them. But I love her storytelling. I also love her heroines because they're in this profession, so they obviously have big goals and things like that. So this is another popular one I loved. Next, we have another sports sort of author, and that is Rebecca Genshak. She writes in multiple sports. So she is hockey, she is basketball, she is football. So overall, they're very fun. She also focuses a lot on college, which I really liked. So I've read a few of her books. I read a hockey one. I read Christmas novellas that are football players. She does different sports every time, and she's very like, she creates like a bond with her characters, which I really super enjoyed. And I feel like in sports it's very easy to get like repetitive with like, hey, we're going to a game, blah blah blah, but she puts so much more into her stories other than the fact that this person is an athlete, which I really enjoyed. I love the connections she makes. I love the overall settings of the college that she builds, which I wasn't sure how I felt about that, but I love her college settings, so that was a fun time. And then the last sports romance author I have is Piper Rain, but this author duo doesn't only do sports, they also do small town, which I really enjoy. So this author duo has like a wide range of romances. They're indie, so they have sports, they have small towns, they have all of these different tropes that they incorporate into their books, which I really, really enjoy. And their series are also longer. They follow a big family and they have tons of companion novels, which I really love. Their books are really easy to get through. Like, you're very easily addicted. They're all multiple point of view, so you're seeing all sides of everything, and it's overall just like such a fun time that you just can't get away from Piper Rain. Once you start a book and you fall in love, you want to read all the books in this series. So it's a fun time. Another popular author I have is Katie Robert. I read these books earlier this year and really enjoyed it. I still need to continue with this series. I will probably get some other series by her, but I really enjoy it. So Katie Robert does like Greek retellings, but they're like spicy. So this one is Hades and Persephone, and this one is Psyche and Euros. So they're Greek, but I didn't get lost, even though I'm not like big on Greek mythology, which is what I really love. Like, you don't need to actually know Greek mythology to enjoy these books because they're like loosely based on them. So I really enjoyed that. And she does the spice, you know, she brings it there. It's honestly just such a fun time. I know Katie Robert is very big now in the romance and spice world, and I honestly just love to see it. It's just a great time overall. Her books are very, very addicting. You really just can't put them down. Then I have one author that might not be for everyone, but that is Skye Warren. She writes a lot of like forbidden mafia sort of books, which I really like, the taboo sort of element. The books I have read from her were amazing. She does suspense very well, which I really like, because mafia and overall like romantic suspense is very much a hit or miss for me, but I've really enjoyed what I've read from Skye Warren. She also does a lot of collabs with other authors. The only book I own from her I have not read yet, and that is The Pawn, but this, like everything else, is a mafia sort of vibe. So I am excited to read this and all the other Skye Warrens. I know that she's a part of a group of authors that kind of write within the same world, so that is something else to dive into completely if that's what you're looking for. And the last author I want to share with you guys today is K. Bromberg, and she does Billionaire, but also like Small Town. I've only read one series from her called the Sin series, and this series follows 3 brothers. So there's 3 books, and each book follows a different brother. They're billionaires. They all have different stories on how they meet their heroine. I just love the way K. Bromberg kind of does like the build up to the romance, because in a lot of her books, or in the books that I've read from her, it wasn't like a immediate thing. There was always like some build up or like some things to overcome before getting to, you know, the spice and all of that stuff, and I loved how she built up to that. I also love that she does 3 brothers, so it's a lot of banter, it's a lot of like back and forth between the brothers, just because that's how they are. So I did super enjoy that from K. Bromberg, and I can't wait to read more from her. If I didn't miss anyone, that should be 10 romance authors that I personally discovered this year. Some of these, like most of these authors are not new. They're just new to me, and I just wanted to share that with you guys in case you guys are looking for new romance authors. Some of them were popular, some of them were indie. All of them I support tremendously and love their books. So I just wanted to bring them out to the world in case you don't already know some of them. But all in all, I had such a fun time reading from these authors, had a fun time sharing these authors with you. But that's all I have for you today. So you can like, comment, and subscribe down below if you'd like. All of my socials, follow me anywhere else, are in the description as always. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!